Hey, fifth and sixth graders, happy to be with you again today. Let's dive in some more into our study of the first commandment. And last time we learned that to love, fear, and love and trust in God above all things means, first of all, that we love God more than any other person. And a little story here to help us review that thought. Um, can you imagine? So Josh's younger brother Scott always seemed to be sickly. He just every day he didn't feel well. Finally, the problem was diagnosed by a doctor. Doctor said, Scott, it seems, is allergic to cats and dogs' hair. Oh my. Guess who had to get rid of his beloved dog? His older brother, Josh. You know as well as I do what the real question is here. Whom does Josh love more? His dog or his little brother? So when it comes to whom we love, well, remember last time we said God is always at the top of the list because God is ultimately the one who gives us younger brothers and all the other blessings in life, all the other people in life that we are blessed through. So today, though, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're not going to talk about loving people. We're going to talk about loving things. So today, like it says on your screen, today, love God above all things. I want to tell you about Joey and Chad. Their mom gave them each $2, and the two boys, Joey and Chad, were instructed give $1 to the church, to the offering plate at church, and the other dollar you can go out and spend on something fun for yourself. Well, the two boys were out playing and they were crossing a bridge, and wouldn't you know it, one of the dollar bills fell out of Joey's pocket, and there it was floating down below the bridge into the water. And what did Joey say? He said, Oh, there goes my dollar for church. Oh, goodness. What's wrong here? It seems that Joey loves the money for the treat that he was going to buy more than money for the Lord, because it's obvious he had no intention of giving that one remaining dollar to God. And so it's easy to deduce whom he loves more. He loves himself more and what he can buy with his money than that dollar that his mom gave him for the Lord's work. And you know what I guess probably would have happened? If he had said, Oh, there goes my dollar for my treat floating down the river, I bet his mom would have replaced that dollar and given him that lost dollar anyway. So he could have given to both the church and bought his treat. But that's always a question that people are in life are asking. How much do I love God? Versus how much do I love the things of this world? And so Jesus told a story. You see it listed there, the young rich man. Okay? And this Jesus was having a conversation with this young guy. He was very wealthy. And this young man came and asked Jesus, Jesus, how am I going to be in heaven someday? You see, this young man thought, Oh, I'm headed for heaven. I'm pretty good. I don't steal. I don't lie. I don't disrespect my parents. I don't murder. Now, Jesus could read his heart, and he knew the one weakness of this young rich man. It was his money. And so Jesus said to him, Young man, tell you what, this is how you can be in heaven someday. Go and sell all your possessions, give it to the poor, and come follow me. Guess what? The young rich man went away sad because he was wealthy and he had no intention of giving up his money. He loved it, earthly treasures, much more than he loved God himself. So let's not get this mixed up. Earthly treasures are wonderful. They're blessings of God, but they never compare to heavenly treasures. Let's learn some more about this topic. Look at the Bible verse. It's a big one. Jesus is giving a warning here. He says, if anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For everything in the world, the cravings of sinful man, the lust of his eyes, the boasting of what he does and has and does, that doesn't come from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desires will pass away, but the man who does the will of God lives forever. Boys and girls, what we're really talking about here are earthly treasures and heavenly treasures. Which are more valuable to you? Oh my goodness, look at what Jesus said in the last line, which I underlined. But the man who does the will of God lives forever. When we put God first in our life, when we value God and all of his promises, especially heavenly treasures, when we value that as number one, then we have our priorities in order. And oh my, God will certainly bless us. Look at the next Bible passage. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, your inner being, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. Love whom? Love the Lord your God. This is the first and greatest commandment. So there it is again. Who's number one? Well, it's God, who blesses us so bountifully in life and in the life to come. Let me tell you another story. Here's Jody's father. Jody's father came home one night from the church meeting and he was complaining. And he said, oh my goodness, we've just increased our offerings to missions. And so now what that means is I guess we're going to have to give more on Sunday mornings. This was from a family that just built a beautiful new house, from a family that just put in a brand new, expensive large screen TV. This was Jody's family. Jody's father had a great job and could afford to buy so many things. They were looking at a Range Rover to purchase real soon, and you get my drift. This was a family that had lots of money. And here the father is complaining he might have to consider giving a little bit more to God and to the church to support the Lord's work because there was lots of work to do with missions. So his heart was not in the right place. God was not number one in his life. Once again, it was his money and all that money can buy. So let's just talk about some of the things money can buy. It says, list all the earthly possessions that people really love. All right. Well, obviously, fancy cars, electronics, expensive trips, nice clothes, beautiful house. I'm not going to go on and on and on. And you know what God says about all that stuff? And I use the word stuff. Look at the next and final Bible passage today. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy them, and where thieves break in and steal them. Do you know what happens to all our earthly stuff at the end of the day? They get stolen. They rust. They decay. Toys break. Food rots. Food spoils. Money runs out. Pets die. Friendships and marriages sometimes fall apart. Cookies crumble. Computers malfunction. Things burn up like houses and forests, with all these wildfires around us. Things get outdated. Things pop like balloons. Um, Clothes get outgrown. Do I have to keep going? there's a word that the Bible uses for people who put all their emphasis in life on money and all that it can buy. It's in the middle of the last box, foolish. Jesus said the young man that we heard about, the rich young man, was foolish because at the end of the day, he's not going to be in heaven. God is not a priority in his life. And people that think that things of this world are the end all and the be all and end all, they get disappointed because, like I said, things run out, they spoil, they rot, they get outdated, they crash, they burn, they break, and so on and so forth. What's the only thing that lasts? The only thing that lasts is God and his love, God and his promises, because they translate on the last day of life to that place called heaven, which will go beyond our wildest dreams. You think there are nice things to own here on this earth? Don't get too excited because they're going to be a gazillion times better when we get in heaven someday. And so it is, earthly treasures are nice, they're blessings, but they can't even compare. They're not even close to heavenly treasures. And that's why we can say we love God with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our mind. God truly is our first love. He's number one, as the first commandment teaches. Hope your worksheet or your follow-up assignment goes well today. We'll see you next time.